Hello, it's the Comino team again, and we're here with another great review. Today we're going to talk about the ASUS GeForce RTX 3090 STRIX gaming GPU. STRIX has always been the flagship line of ASUS using the latest technology. However, the price of the ASUS GeForce RTX 3090 STRIX gaming is still unknown. As for the reference card, it costs $1,499. Now let's take a closer look at the GPU. We'll just mention that it is made in a non-reference design. The card is 320mm long and occupies 2.9 slots. The GPU design has been significantly revised. The card cover is made of plastic. On the casing itself, there are various inscriptions such as STRIX and Game On. There is RGB lighting on its side as well as the ASUS logo. 3 fans are used for cooling. They also feature the ASUS STRIX logos. Note that the fans are made using Axial Tech technology, which allows you to set the direction of the airflow. The central cooler rotates in the opposite direction and has more blades than the other 2 outer fans. When the card is idle, the cooling is in standby mode, but when the temperature reaches 56 degrees, the fans start rotating. The backside of the card is covered with a black metal plate with NVIDIA RTX inscriptions and the ASUS STRIX logo on it. The plate contains a cutout for a lengthwise air passage from the fan through the radiator. As a fastener for the main radiator, the manufacturer uses an additional frame that reinforces the card's structure. The following ports are located on the output part of the card: 2 HDMI 2.1s and 3 DisplayPorts 1.4. Let's disassemble the GPU, and we suggest that first of all you pay attention to the radiator. It consists of 2 parts. The main radiator is used to cool the GPU chip, memory, and the right side of the VRM. The radiator itself consists of aluminium fins connected by 7 heat pipes. To secure the contact with the GPU, a nickel-plated bar is soldered onto the tubes. A smaller radiator is used to cool the VRM area on the left. It is located on a mounting frame that covers part of the card and secures the structure. The backplate in turn contains thermal spacers that remove heat from the elements soldered on the back of the board. Let's move on to inspecting the printed circuit board. The printed circuit board has its own design, which is drastically different from that which is used in the reference cards of NVIDIA itself. On the board, we see a chip of the Ampere GA102 family by NVIDIA, made using an 8nm technical process. There are 12 micron D8 BGX memory chips around it. The rest of the chips are soldered on the back of the board. In total, the card has 24GB GDDR6X VRAM on the board. Considering the increased consumption of the card, more power phases were required. Therefore, 18 phases are used for the GPU and 3 for VRAM. The GPU power subsystem is managed by 2 monolithic power systems MP2-888A controllers. The memory is powered by a UPI UP9512Q. The power phases themselves were manufactured by Texas Instruments and are identified as CSD95481RWJ. To combine 2 cards, there is an NVLink connector on the board. This connector is not available on the 3080 GPU. Power is supplied to the card through 3x8 pin connectors. It also allows to increase the consumption limits up to 480 watts. The card also contains a BIOS switch, thanks to which work in OC and silent modes is available. The first mode allows the card to operate at increased frequencies, while the second limits the operation of the fans. There are 2 fan connectors on the right side of the board. Test stand. Hardware part. Intel Core i9 9900K. ASUS WS Z390 Pro. G.Skill 16GB DDR4 3600 CL16, 1TB NVMe SSD. OS Windows 10 2004, NVIDIA GeForce 456.55 DCH driver. Additional software: MSI Afterburner 4.6.2, GPU Z 2.34.0, 3D Mark x Spy Extreme, 3D Mark Port Royal. Games: Red Dead Redemption 2. Mining software, Claymore 15. Now, let's get down to the tests. During the game in 4K mode, FPS was kept at the level of 60, which makes it possible to play comfortably if you have a 4K monitor. In the 3D Mark x SPI Extreme benchmark, the card showed 8,452 GPU points. This is an excellent result. In the 3D Mark Port Royal, we got 12,685 points. The 2080 Ti card shows 7,500, which is 112% lower than the result of the 3090. The 2080 shows 5,300, which is 159% less than the 3090. We summarized all the results in a table for clarity. ASUS GeForce RTX 3090 Strix Gaming. RDR2 average FPS 60. 3D Mark x SPI Extreme 8,452. 3D Mark Port Royal 12,685. NVIDIA RTX 2080 Ti Fe. RDR2 average FPS 45. 3D Mark x SPI Extreme 7,500. 3D Mark Port Royal 9,700. NVIDIA RTX 2080 Fe. RDR2 average FPS 30. 3D Mark x SPI Extreme 5,300. 3D Mark Port Royal 6,600. Let's move on to testing the card in mining. Ether algorithms were used for these tests. In ETH, the result was 107 megahash per second. After setting overclocking, hash rate increased to 117 megahash per second. It is important to keep in mind that this overclocking will be stable only on liquid cooling. Recall that ETH mining on the 20XX series was significantly lower in terms of performance due to the fact that the 3090 possesses faster memory. GPU consumption at 100% load. The card's consumption is within 430 watts during mining. As for the gaming tests, the card consumes about 400 watts. The maximum consumption during overclocking reaches 550 watts on liquid cooling. But perhaps, in the future using other software and drivers, it will be possible to increase the overclocking. We estimate the maximum peak consumption at 600 watts. For comparison, the 2080 Ti's consumption at maximum overclocking reached 300 watts. During mining, we measured the indicators of the backside of the card using a thermal imager. To do this, we had to remove the backplate. The GPU zone warmed up to 71.1 degrees Celsius. The memory zone warmed up unevenly to 98.8 degrees Celsius. The zone warmed up to 73.2 degrees Celsius and 69.4 degrees Celsius. In conclusion, we would like to share our impression of the new GPU. The ASUS team has not only managed to make the fastest GPU out of all the 3090 cards available to users, but it is also impressively quiet during work process. It is also important to note that the card requires a powerful unit and a spacious case. Alternatively, you can use the liquid cooling system used in the compact SFF Auto computer, which is fully compatible with the new 30XX series. As far as mining is concerned, the 3090 has no competitors. The card shows itself well in mining ETH and outperforms the previous generation of cards by several times. Subscribe to our channel, comment down below, and leave us a like if you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.